What is goody? Senior Gustapa here, aka Leroy Jenkins on Activision. Today I will be going over the AK-47 attachments. I will be quickly going over the attachments, and only that. I will be making another video of my favorite attachments for this gun, but just for now I'm going to be going over just the attachments. So let's get into it. First off, we have the muzzles. First off, flash guard. Suppresses the flash of your weapon to help keep your target visible and your position concealed. Pros, muzzle flash concealment. Cons, bullet velocity. Now we have the muzzle brake. Redirects gases outward to stabilize the weapon for better control of sustained fire. Pros, recoil stabilization. Cons, aimed on sight speed and aiming stability. After that, the tactical suppressor silences weapon with very little additional weight. Pros, sound suppression. Cons, aimed on sight speed and aim locking steadiness. Now we have the compensator, expels gases upward to aggressively fight muzzle climb. Pros, recoil control. Cons, aimed on sight speed and aiming stability. Now we have the lightweight suppressor. Suppressor sacrifices range for stealth and agility. Pros, sound suppression. Cons, damage range. Then we have the bayonet, lethal melee attack. Pros, melee damage. Cons, aim down sight speed and aim locking steadiness. Last but not least, for the muzzles, we have the monolithic suppressor. Moderate weight increase affects agility, with sound suppression and increased range. Pros, sound suppression and damage range. Cons, aim down sight speed and aim locking steadiness. After that, we have the barrels. First off, the Spetsnaz Elite. Pros, damage range, bullet velocity. Cons, aim down sight speed. Increase muzzle velocity and improves range with little additional weight. After that, the 23.0 RPK barrel. Pros, damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control. Cons, aim down sight speed and movement speed. After that, the 8.1 inch compact barrel. Pros, aim down sight speed and movement speed. Cons, bullet velocity and recoil control. Now we have the 23.0 inch Romanian. Pros, damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control. Cons, aim down sight speed and movement speed. And this one has the built-in solid wood grip. Most stable and accurate barrel available. Substantial weight, slows movement and handling. After that, we have the lasers. First off, the 1mW laser. Pros, hipfire accuracy, and there are no cons. Now we have the 5mW laser. Exposes position when active, only for the aggressive. Pros, hipfire accuracy, sprint to fire speed. Cons, laser visible to enemies. After that, we have the TAC laser. Improves accuracy while aiming down sights, exposes position when active. Pros, aim down sight speed, aiming stability, and walking steadiness. Cons, laser visible to enemies. Oh, there we go. Now we're on to the optics. First off, the operator reflex sight. Pros, position sight picture. Cons, aim down sight speed. Now we're on to the corp combat hollow sight. Pros, position sight picture. Cons, aim down sight speed. Now we have the aim op reflex sight. Pros, precision sight picture. Cons, aim down sight speed. After that, the scout combat optic 3.25 magnification for long range targeting. Pros, zoom level. Cons, aim down sight speed. Now we have the APX5 holographic sight. Pros, precision sight picture. Cons, aim down sight speed. After that, the Solo Zero Optics Mini Reflex. Pros, precision sight picture. Cons, aim down sight speed. Now we have the Integral Hybrid 3.25 times Scout with Integral Reflex Sight for quickly transitioning between targets. Pros, reflex and scout toggle and zoomable. Cons, aim down sight speed. Now we have the VLK 3.0 times optic. Provides reliable targeting. Pros, zoomable. Cons, aim down sight speed. Now we have the sniper scope, high power 4.4 scope with 4 longer range encounters, optic glint visible to enemies. Pros, zoomable. Cons, aim down sight speed. Now we have the Viper reflex sight. Pros, precision sight picture. Cons, aim down sight speed. Now I have the GI mini reflex. Pros, precision sight picture. Cons, aim down sight speed. After that, the Solo Zero NVG enhanced. 3.25 times Gen 3 night vision with thermal overlay for enhanced situational awareness. Not compatible with night vision goggles. Pros, thermal target identification and zoom level. Cons, aim down sight speed. Now we have the monocle reflex sight. Low intrusion frames for improved target tracking. Pros, precision sight picture. Cons, aim down sight speed. After that, the Cronin LP945 mini reflex. Pros, precision sight picture. Cons, aim down sight speed. Now we have the canted hybrid 3.25 times scout with a side mounting reflex sight. Lets you change engagement distances with a flick of the wrist. Pros, reflex and scout toggle and zoomable. Cons, aim down sight speed. Now I have the Cronin C480 Pro optic. Optic with a 3.5 times magnification, provides excellent targeting. Pros, zoomable. Cons, aim down sight speed. After that, the Merc Thermal Optic 3.25 scope with thermal imaging highlights targets and provides visibility in all lighting conditions. Not compatible with night vision goggles. Pros, thermal target identification and zoomable. Cons, aim down sight speed. Now we have the variable zoom scope. Advanced scope zooms between 3.0 and 6.1 times for fighting at extended ranges. Optic glint visible to enemies. Pros, zoomable, magnification toggle. Cons, aim down sight speed. Last but not least, for the optics, we have the thermal hybrid 3.25 thermal scope with side mounting reflex sight, toggles thermal imaging with a flick of the wrist. Not compatible with night vision goggles. Pros, reflex and thermal toggle and zoomable. Cons, aim down sight speed. Now we're on to the stocks. First off, the field LMG stock. Heavy duty stock provides stability while aiming. Pros, aiming stability. Cons, aim walking movement speed. Now we have the skeleton stock. Pros, aim walking movement speed and aim down sight speed. Cons, aiming stability. Next is the no stock. Pros, movement speed and aim down sight speed. Cons, aiming stability and recoil control. After that, the FSS close quarter stock gets you on target faster. Pros, aim down sight speed. Cons, aiming stability. Now we have the Forge TAC Ultralight. Pros, aim walking movement speed. Cons, aiming stability. Stock designed for agility while aiming down sights. Next we have the underbarrels. First off, the bipod. Pros, crouch / prone recoil control, and there are no cons. Now we have the commando foregrip. Pros, recoil stabilization and aiming stability. Cons, movement speed. Helps maintain control during heavy fire. Now we have the GP25 40mm high explosive. Pros, underbarrel grenade launcher shoots explosive rounds. Cons, aim down sight speed and movement speed. After that, the Merc foregrip. Pros: recoil control, hipfire accuracy. Cons: aim locking movement speed and aim down sight speed. Now we have the GP25 40mm smoke screen. Underbarrel grenade launcher that shoots smoke rounds. Cons: aim down sight speed and movement speed. Now we have the GP25 40mm incendiary. Pros: underbarrel grenade launcher that shoots incendiary rounds. Cons: aim down sight speed and movement speed. After that, the tactical foregrip, superior control acquiring targets. Pros: aiming stability. Cons: movement speed. Now we have the GP25 40mm concussive. Underbarrel grenade launcher that shoots concussive rounds. Cons: aim down sight speed and movement speed. After that, the operative foregrip helps control the vertical recoil for faster follow-up shots. Pros: recoil control. Cons: aim down sight speed. Now we have the ranger foregrip. Pros: recoil control, aim stability. Cons: aim locking movement speed and aim down sight speed. Stabilizes weapon while aiming for improved long-range combat. Now we have the GP25 40mm flash. Underbarrel grenade launcher that shoots flash rounds. Cons: aim down sight speed and movement speed. Now we have the 12-gauge WD. Pros: underbarrel shotgun. Cons: aim down sight speed. And last, for the underbarrels, we have the GP25 40mm recon. Underbarrel grenade launcher that shoots snapshot rounds. Cons: aim down sight speed and movement speed. After that, we have the ammunition. First off, the 40 round mags. Stated magazine holds 40 rounds of 7.62 by 39mm ammunition with a slight weight increase. Pros: magazine ammo capacity. Cons: aim down sight speed and movement speed. Now we have the 5.45 by 39mm 30 round mags. Lower caliber ammunition for shorter range, faster fire rate, and less recoil to dominate close quarter engagements. Pros: fire rate, recoil control. Cons: damage and range. Now we have the 75 round drum mags. Drum mag holds 75 rounds of 7.62 by 39mm ammunition, maximizing ammo capacity at the expense of mobility. Pros: magazine ammo capacity. Cons: aim down sight speed and movement speed. Now we're on to the rear grips. First off, the granulated grip tape keeps you steady and on target. Aiming stability are the pros, and aim locking steadiness. Cons: aim locking movement speed. Now I have the stapled grip tape, less stable but very agile. Pros: aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed. Cons: aiming stability. Now we have the rubberized grip tape, less steady but helps control recoil. Pros: recoil control. Cons: aiming stability. Last but not least, for the AK-47, we have the perks. First off, fast melee for melee quickness. Then we have fully loaded for max starting ammo. Then frangible wounding, bullets cause target healing to be briefly delayed. Now we have sleight of hand for reload quickness. Recon, see enemy nameplates at greater distances. More money, earn additional XP for kills. Headshot XP. After that, the frangible disabling, bullets slow enemy movement and briefly disable tactical sprint when shooting legs. Then we have heavy hitter, melee produces greater stun on targets. After that, FMJ increases bullet penetration and damage against equipment and kill streaks. Last but not least, for the perks, we have presence of mind for extended hold breath duration. And that is it for the AK-47 assault rifle. Again, I will be making a video about my favorite attachments for this gun. But until then, hope you have a great day and peace.